Good evening. My name is David Tibbetts, and I'm here to introduce you to my e-portfolio. First of all, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to view my material. The past years at American Military University have been some of the best years that I've spent. The education has been top-notch, and this portfolio is designed to provide some insights into the material that I've studied while I was there, the work that I've produced, and what it is that I've learned along the way. In addition to taking formal courses in management and leadership as part of my program, I'm also a Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force, currently serving in the 16th Air Force Staff. Here, I work on strategic policy and initiatives concerning the application of some of our Air Force's most sensitive operations, and AMU's curriculum has been part and parcel of all the work that I do here and has informed my decisions and helped me as a key leader here. Additionally, it has helped inform me as a flight chief and manager of individuals. In my previous assignment, I supervised 37 individuals and provided strategic direction for my team. And the courseware at AMU has enhanced my ability to function in that role. My portfolio consists of a presentation that walks you through my career, some reflections on my academic lessons along the way, and 4 key artifacts that represent the core objectives of this program and demonstrates how I've been able to achieve them. Now, first and foremost, as a senior NCO in the United States military, I've had the opportunity not just to manage, but to lead a number of fine individuals. My leadership philosophy has been directly informed by the courseware that I've had here and has been refined over time. I can tell you that we're all developing our leadership philosophies as we go along the way, and when it comes to the NCO Corps, many of us lack any formal training in how we get about it. I know that I developed my own personal philosophy that I used to refer to as weapon systems and fuel. Now, what I mean by that is I would sit a young airman down when they came to my flight and I would inform them that there were 2 kinds of people in my flight. There were either weapon systems or there were fuel. Now, weapon systems, those are something that you could invest in, something valuable that you could upgrade over time, something that you could develop. Fuel, on the other hand, fuel was burnable, and you burned fuel to be able to fly your weapon systems. Now, the reason that I laid things out that way is I wanted people to understand they really had 2 choices when they came to work. They could engage in a transformational relationship with me, where I would be able to enhance them, develop them, and produce a finer human being out of them, or they were coming to work with a transactional mindset, where they were there to earn a paycheck and to do the minimum amount of work necessary to be able to get that done. Now, both of those were fine systems, and I always made it clear to them that they had the option to choose and that it was never going to be forced upon them. But I realized later, as I was doing my studies, that this was a primitive form of leader-member exchange theory, and what I was doing was clearly identifying what the in-group was, what the out-group was, what the criteria to be part of it was, and ensuring that I kept it open so as not to be discriminatory in my practices. Now, by understanding the fundamentals of the theories behind the leadership philosophy that I had independently developed, I was actually able to refine it, ensure that it was more fair and more open and available to folks, and didn't hurt anybody's career chances, and in fact worked as an enhancing instrument for their careers. Additionally, I told them the problem that I always wanted, and the problem I frequently had, was having only weapon systems and absolutely no fuel to burn. And this led to me having to make tough choices every time the developmental opportunity came along, and every time that I had to pick somebody for that next great assignment, I had to sit down and take long deliberations amongst all the candidates that I had. Now, the artifacts that I've selected go over some of the core objectives of this program. I begin with an artifact from my supply chain management course, where I offer a presentation about supply chain optimization for a fictitious tea company. Now, I chose this because it demonstrates my presentation skills. It shows that I understand how to organize personnel and assets in support of an overarching objective, and that I can be ultimately part of a team and be able to support executive decisions. It also shows my critical thinking abilities when it comes to the management of resources and materiel. Following that, I have an analysis of the film 12 Angry Men. Now, this might not necessarily seem like a management episode, but the film provides an excellent insight into how organizational change happens over a short amount of time, and it also looks at the different roles that power has to play in organizational change and how change can be managed deliberately. I use this opportunity to reflect on the different characters and the circumstances surrounding the film, and give the reader some insights into what the underlying elements are that allow those different characters to operate in the situation that they're placed in, and how the organizational body in that film goes from one situation to another by the end over such a short period of time. Following that, I have an analysis of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. Now, this was for a labor relations assignment. I myself in the military haven't had a whole lot of experience with the unions, but we do have union-like elements within the United States military in terms of the Air Force Sergeants Association, which lobbies on our behalf to the United States Congress, and the types of direct relationships that we have as military members can often look a little bit more like union relationships than they necessarily do like employer-employee relationships. Namely, termination policies are very different, that there's corrective action that can be taken within the organization, etc. This also demonstrates to any future employer that I am not completely ignorant of the way that unions work, and also gives them insights into the functions of arbitration and litigation and how unions and labor organizations interact with local government and also with employers. Lastly, I have the paper from my strategic management class that goes through the entirety of the 10 steps of strategic planning. Now, strategic planning has been the part of my job that I've enjoyed the most. Working here at the staff, I've been able to work with my team to identify our organization's core competencies, to eliminate aspects of our work that did not align with our function, and to redefine and establish a vision and mission statement for what it is that we sought to accomplish here, and then organize the team that I had to then support the agencies within 16th Air Force that we've been charged with. That strategic planning class was probably one of the most valuable pieces of curriculum that I had the privilege to take. Additionally, I have a presentation here that talks about the road that I've been on, that goes through the story of my life in the context of my career, that highlights some of the things that I've talked about in terms of my leadership philosophy, how that's evolved, and how I've progressed through the United States Air Force's rank structure, and where I'm going from here as I finish up my bachelor's program and then go on to National Intelligence University to pursue my master's. All in all, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to view this portfolio, and I hope that it gives you a greater appreciation of who I am as a manager, who I am as a leader, and who you can expect me to be as part of your team. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy yourself.